What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And today I have a super exciting video of Darth Vader's Zeta leader ability soloing the whole entire Rancor with friends such as Magma Trooper. Magma Trooper has been off the hook for me lately, Darth Sidious, Captain Rex, and of course the TIE fighter pilot. This video was just so amazingly fun to make, and I want to use this video as a platform to talk about many things. Of course, we're going to talk about the mods I use and why each character played a very important role in taking down this Rancor. And while we talk about that, I'll also talk more about Darth Vader's Zeta ability because I keep getting the question, should I Zeta Darth Vader? And this video is to try to help inform you more about why Darth Vader might be one of the characters you Zeta, and along the way, we will talk about other things related to the Rancor raid. Before I get started, for those of you who are interested, there is a link down below in the description to go to my official store website where you can go ahead and buy an Arnold T101 t-shirt. It greatly helps out the channel and greatly helps out my education. So I thank you guys so much for doing that, and I'm also currently working on getting a Patreon page set up for those of you who might want some other options in supporting the channel. So once again, thank you guys so much, but let's get right into the video. And the first thing I want to talk about is this funny mystery that's going on, and not anyone can really confirm or deny, nor myself, but some people are saying that since this past Friday, which was February 17th, 2017, people are saying that Darth Vader's leader ability is bugged against the Rancor after the developers fixed Darth Vader in Arena, because before, even when someone dodged, they could still lose turn meter as a result of Darth Vader's leader ability. Some people are saying that when Darth Vader is leading with his Zeta ability, anytime a Sith and Empire ally attacks, they always remove turn meter. And in this video, I really didn't see that. There are plenty of times when my characters did not remove any turn meter, so I don't know if that's really true. Also, other people have said that anytime an Empire or Sith ally attacks, they remove 100% turn meter, and I really did not see that in this video either. I think there was a few instances where I may have thought that I saw that, but overall, many of the times when I removed turn meter, I did not remove 100% turn meter. So I can't confirm if this solo was a result of the game being slightly bugged with Darth Vader Zeta, but I've been running this in the past, even before Friday, with the full Empire team and other types of lineups, and this is still very successful. You can easily get into Phase 3 without many problems. So I just wanted to put that out, that there is a bug that people are whispering about, but it hasn't been confirmed nor denied, and no one can really put their finger on what's going on. So regardless if the game is bugged with Darth Vader's Zeta ability against the Rancor or not, this is a very successful lineup, and a lineup that I've been using for a while, just never got around to recording it even before this Friday. So if you want to model this, this will still be very successful. So let's talk about the strategy and the characters and the mods behind this. And of course, we have to talk about Darth Vader's Zeta leader ability. Now, many people in the community pretty much agree that Darth Vader's leader ability, after you give him his Zeta, is one of the best and probably the best leader in the game to use against the Rancor, and here is why. His leader ability, Inspiring Through Fear, besides the fact that he gives 30% offense to Empire and Sith allies, Empire and Sith allies also have a 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter, and the coolest thing about that is that this turn meter removal cannot be resisted. One of the big problems in the raid before Darth Vader's Zeta leader ability is that the Rancor can frequently resist your turn meter removal and everything just falls apart. 50% is a pretty high percentage to remove turn meter, and 20% turn meter removal is pretty substantial. So this is why a lot of people talk about Darth Vader's Zeta ability being super useful. I want to answer this in this video. I've also said this in previous Zeta videos I've made, but a lot of people ask, what the heck is a Zeta? What's a Zeta ability? What are Zeta mats? And I also get the question, who should I give my first Zeta to? So let me quickly answer those two questions. Zeta mats, all you need to know is that they're the highest level of mats in the game. Below that, you have Omega mats. A lot of people know what that is. And then going further down the list, you have purple, green, and blue, which everyone knows about at this point. Zeta mats are extremely hard to farm, and they're more for the very advanced player in the game, which is why a lot of people don't know what they are, because they don't see it in their 50s, 60s, 70s. It's more for people who are in their upper 80s and play ships quite a lot. And once you've collected about 20 Zeta mats, you can go ahead ahead and give it to certain characters who have abilities that have Zeta upgrades, and essentially they're just god-tiered abilities. You just have to go ahead and do some research. Just long story short, very hard to farm, you need a lot, and lastly, once you collect enough, you can really unlock some true potential in a lot of characters. And regarding who you should Zeta first, it's really up in the air and really debatable. I'm just going to talk about Darth Vader, but Darth Vader's Zeta leader ability is fantastic for the Rancor. You can easily solo it when you have the right type of lineup, or at least get several phases into the game. The turn meter removal in Arena is super critical, removing 20% turn meter just from all of the AoE damage coming from TIE Fighter Pilot, Palpatine, Darth Vader can really change the course of battle. And also another thing to keep in mind is that anytime he goes ahead and applies damage over time, those little red dots that you see, they constantly keep coming up no matter when they try to go away. So this means you can have never-ending damage over time, and you see that many instances in this video. I'll have 100 damage over time lined up, and they'll just never go away. They keep stacking on top of each other, and then when you go ahead and toss his Coaling Blade, you can do some pretty big damage. At one point, I had almost 400,000 damage on a single throw, so that is really crucial as well. Now, touching on the subject, well, who should my first character be that I Zeta? Well, I'm going to talk about Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's Zeta ability is probably one of the safest and one of the best overall Zeta characters in this game. He's used for Arena, he's used for the Rancor raid, used for the AAT raid. You can use him for Galactic War with no problem, and it's probably one of the safest bets in the game. Qui-Gon Jinn Zeta is more tailored towards Arena and Phase 1 of the AAT raid, but you're not going to solo the Rancor raid with his leader ability. And same thing with Yoda and Barriss. They're more tailored towards Arena as well as Phase 1 of the AAT raid, so Vader just works in many different aspects in the game. So if you don't think you're going to get many Zeta mats and you have a lot of Empire characters or Sith, Darth Vader's a pretty safe bet, especially if you need to go ahead and get up the leaderboards for the Rancor raid so you can go ahead and get better rewards. So that's that topic. Now we're going to talk about the strategies behind everyone, and let's stay on the topic of Darth Vader. So when using Darth Vader, I highly recommend for the mods, load them up on critical chance and critical damage. One of the things I was most disappointed in this run was the lack of critical damage when I was throwing the Coaling Blade. Yeah, I still soloed the Rancor, but critical damage just seems so much more satisfying, and it helps get through the raid a lot faster. So to address this, you can either just load them up on critical chance mods, or balance it between critical chance and critical damage mods. But then when you're looking at your primary and secondary stats, look for things that really up the critical chance. So that's what I recommend, and the strategy in using him in the Rancor raid is to go ahead, apply Force Crush, get that speed down. That is super critical, especially in case you don't get enough turn meter removal. You have a chance to slow down the Rancor and get some extra turns in. And I also recommend only using Coaling Blade once the Force Crush has reset. In my previous runs from the previous weeks, one of my biggest mistakes is that right after Force Crush, I follow up the Coaling Blade, and then there are 5 turns when the Rancor has no speed down. So just keep that in mind. Force Crush, wait a couple turns. Once Force Crush is about to refresh itself, toss the Coaling Blade, and Vader's next turn, you can follow up with Force Crush and apply speed down, and just keep that cycle going over and over again. The next guy we're going to talk about, and he's been quite a hit lately, is Magma Trooper. You guys may have seen I had a pretty unexpected hit video with Magma Trooper doing pretty well in Arena. Check that out if you haven't. He is pretty great if you're trying to find some alternative free-to-play methods of countering TIE Fighter Pilot. Magma Trooper is a very odd and useful key to that. But regarding the Rancor raid, he can remove turn meter off his basic when under Darth Vader's lead, so that's one way of using him. And secondly, his thermal imploder removes up to 80% turn meter, and part of that turn meter removal cannot be resisted because of Darth Vader's leader ability. And you'll see there are many moments in this video where that thermal imploder was super critical to bring his turn meter all the way down to 0, so I can go ahead and keep going, because a lot of the times I can't remove turn meter, and Magma Trooper really saves the day with that thermal imploder. Regarding mods, you can kind of use a bunch of things. The most important thing in my opinion is up his potency a little bit, because not all that turn meter he removes is unresistible. 20% has a chance to not be resisted because of Darth Vader's leader ability, but the other 60% can be resisted in a few instances, so bump up his potency in whatever way possible. And I also recommend trying to put more speed mods on him. Speed is not too necessary for Arena because once TIE Fighter Pilot opens up, he applies the debuff to Magma Trooper, and Magma Trooper is pretty much at 100% turn meter. In the Rancor raid, that's not the case. You want Magma Trooper to be participating as much as possible, and bumping up his speed is really important. Now, regarding the strategy of using Magma Trooper, don't use his thermal imploder every second you get. You want to only save it once the Rancor starts getting a roughly above 50%. That's when you want to come in, use the thermal imploder to make sure he's not getting all the way to 100%. So essentially, Magma Trooper is the hero once things start to look a little messy with controlling the Rancor's turn meter. The next Empire character we're going to talk about is TIE Fighter Pilot. Now, it's very self-explanatory for most people, but I want to just go ahead and explain why he's really important. One, he is a super fast character. Even before mods, he is the fastest character in the game, and there's a few ways you might want to go ahead and mod him. One, a ton of speed, because the more attacks he's getting in from his basic, the more chances he has to remove turn meter because of Darth Vader's leader ability. So more speed equals more chances for removing turn meter. And the other thing you might want to consider is giving him mods that give him lots of critical chance. On his basic targeting computer, anytime he applies a critical hit, he inflicts tenacity down. And in this video, I really felt the true power of having tenacity down. I'll talk about that in a second here. So because of that, you might want to go ahead, load up on critical chance mod sets, or just find mods that give off a lot of critical chance in the primary and secondary mods. In this video, I went more towards the speed because I did not have too many good critical chance mods, and I used TIE Fighter Pilot for Arena, but the optimal lineup would be to have a lot of critical chance and a lot of speed. Now, the strategy regarding TIE Fighter Pilot is to go ahead and constantly apply tenacity down and to just participate as much as possible to remove turn meter off his basic. In this video, I really felt how useful tenacity down was. As you may notice, during the times when the Rancor does not have tenacity down because Coaling Blade removed it, and I tried to use Darth Sidious's AoE to apply debuffs, or I tried to inflict speed down and damage over time from Darth Vader, I saw it be resisted more often when tenacity down was not around. So what you might want to do is make sure tenacity down is on the Rancor before coming in and using Darth Vader's Force Crush or Darth Sidious's ability to apply damage over time, because they will just stick a lot more frequently. And it also helps the next guy, which is Captain Rex. Now, Captain Rex is not gaining any bonuses under Darth Vader's leader ability because he is not an Empire, nor is he a Sith. But the reason why he's in here is mainly because his basic ability, known as Impeding Shot, removes 25% turn meter 100% of the time. And that's pretty much mainly all you're going to do. You're just going to constantly use Rex's basic. Unless the Rancor is down, you can go ahead and use Subdue, which does a little bit more damage. And also, Squad Discipline comes in handy in the odd situations where the captain will go ahead and apply Death Mark, or if the Rancor somehow goes ahead and gets an attack in, you can go ahead and cleanse that for your team. The mods I would recommend for Captain Rex is strictly potency mods. Rex has a very low potency, and I tried to get his potency as close to 80% as possible, where you start removing turn meter a lot more frequently and it doesn't get resisted as much. And when tenacity down is applied on the Rancor, I remove turn meter a lot more frequently, and I don't feel as worried that I might get resisted. Last but not least, we have Darth Sidious. And Darth Sidious, his main role is to just constantly apply damage over time from his AoE, known as Demoralizing Blows, because on a critical hit, and this is after all the rework stuff that happened, he can apply a lot of damage over time. So the Sidious you are seeing is the reworked one. He has that Gear 11, and he plays a great role in supporting Darth Vader, essentially. That's his main role. And of course, since he's a Sith character, he can go ahead and constantly try to remove turn meter on his basic or his AoE. And since he's such a fast character like TIE Fighter Pilot, he can participate very frequently and have more opportunities to remove turn meter. And the reason why there are times I have so many damage over time is because of Darth Sidious applying so many damage over time effects. When using Darth Sidious, I highly recommend waiting to use Demoralizing Blows until tenacity down is applied on the Rancor, because I noticed when there's no tenacity down, he gets resisted quite a lot, which is a little bit frustrating. The mod mods are a different story. Pretty much you want a combination of critical chance and potency. Potency just to mainly bring up his potency to apply damage over time and expose without many problems, and critical chance because when you apply critical damage to the Rancor, or any enemy for that matter, you apply an additional 2 damage over time on top of the 1 that already applies by default. And another fun fact, you can apply expose to the Rancor, but expose on the Rancor is not nearly as deadly as expose in Arena, Galactic War, and other non-boss characters like that. But there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. We talked about a lot. We talked about each character, their purpose, the strategy that you should use during the Rancor raid, what mods you should be using. We also talked about Darth Vader, his Zeta a bit more, and why you might want to go ahead and Zeta him as your first character. And of course, we talked about why Magma Trooper should not be forgotten, because ever since Darth Vader's new Zeta ability, he has been so amazing. I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. This was a long video, took 50 minutes to record. Of course, I'm cutting it down, so enjoy the rest of the gameplay, see what panned out, see the funny little bug that happened at the very end when I defeated the Rancor. And as always, please go ahead, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe for more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content. And we will talk again soon. Peace out.